If you don't know how money works, you will be forever working for money. You need to learn how to save $3 a day. I say I was doing well, but compared to who? People buy things. They buy a purse, nice things. I invest in education.
So I am here with Nika Chen. And so I want to start with a little bit about you and your background because it's very interesting and it's complicated. And I want to also, one of the things I was reading about you or that you had written about is the leadership development and how, that is really a big part of your mission and you are also an entrepreneur as well. So, and you're real estate, you're all the things, your pay, it's just like a constant scroll because you have done so many things. So let's start with your story.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I am an immigrant. I was born in Shanghai. I went to school in Shanghai. After high school, I came to United States. And that time I was just a college student. And one of my friend, he said, you just come to the United States. If you don't know how money works, you will be forever working for money. I say, oh, that makes sense. Then I started kind of bumped into the financial service industry without me even preparing to just knowing what I wanted to do. And at that time, I really had nothing. I don't have any contacts in the U.S. I have no background, no financial knowledge, not speaking good English when I just came. So I went into the industry, got my license, my life license, my security license in 2003. And so that was the first experience with financial service industry. But there are two things I learned in the company at that time really changed my life. Number one is they teach me, they say, Nika, you need to learn how to save $3 a day. And I say, I can save $3 a day. So I started saving. And number two is I was taught about entrepreneurship. So I had a good mentor that time.
You were taught about entrepreneurship here, like in the United States?
Yes.
Okay.
2003.
Okay.
I had a good mentor. She came from an international background, international student background. She's from Malaysia. And 9 years in the firm, she became a CEO. And then she was very successful in 2003 already. She was only 35 years old. And I look at her as my role model. Wow. I say, if I could have an opportunity to do that, just be like her, I want to do that. So she taught me about if you don't know how money works, you'll be forever working for money. And she also taught me about how to understand the profit rather than you just want to make a living, then you go find a job. If you want to understand the profit, you need to build a business. So that's where I started. And a few years later, I realized I don't want to go to school anymore because I said, oh, why would I go to school? I'm in Silicon Valley back then. So I met a lot of engineers, and they have very high degree. And I'm helping them, but many of them about to retire at the 50s, and they got laid off. Because it was 2003, there's a market crash.
Right.
So I say, oh, if I go to school, that's what's going to happen to me. So I didn't want to go to school. I dropped out. And my mom, who came from China, right, all the Chinese parents, they don't want the kids to not finish school. Right. It's a shame. So she said, you got to go back to school. So 2006, I went back to UCLA. And I graduated in 2008 with econ major, and after that, I did real estate. So I worked for a commercial real estate firm. We acquired office buildings in Irvine, and at that time, I was a director. I learned a lot, but I transitioned into residential real estate, got my broker license, because at that time, it come back to me what I learned about entrepreneurship. I can't work for people.
Right.
It just
How did you know that? I find that so interesting because, people who are entrepreneurs always say that. Like, I cannot work for someone else. Like, at what point did you know that? Was that from your mentor? Or just experience? When
you are going to a job, even though I was very high pay at the 20s, and then I made very good income working with a commercial real estate company. But when we're doing this hundreds of millions of dollar transaction, and you start to realize your pay is good, but it's capped. That's number one thing.
Right.
And number two thing is, you don't feel the sense of ownership.
Exactly.
It's a job, right? So, and I start to think forward, like, do I want to be here next 10 years, 50 years? I just can't see that. The fear coming to me.
Yeah.
Like, it's scary to think about my life is like that.
Right.
No change. So I got into residential real estate. And part of me also, I also feel like in life, you can't just having a job. You need to do something that makes you feel fulfilled.
Right.
I no longer feel that because I'm a one piece in the a company. So I can't really make an impact.
Right.
So I went into commercial, residential real estate and doing luxury homes in Newport Coast. And so that's...
There's a lot of luxury homes on the Newport Coast.
Right. Part of it, I live in there. So also the market at that time, because I speak Chinese.
Right.
So 2013, 14, 15, I was kind of lucky in a way. I ride on the wave. Because a lot of Chinese money coming, and then so I help a lot of a Chinese client with the real estate. So 2015, I received a statement in the mail, and that statement is one of that policy that I saved, the $3 a day.
I was going to get back to the $3 a day.
Yes,
Okay.
and then I opened the statement. It has a $43,000 cash value inside the policy. And I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting that because I forgot about it. It's just there. Every month, I'm automatically putting into account. So I still remember that moment so clearly. I was on my treadmill and I stopped and I felt the prompting that I need to send an email to my mentor. And I did. So as I was writing the email, I was actually very emotional that time. I sent her, I said, I'm just very grateful. I came to the United States. How important it is you run into the right people in your life.
Yeah.
But sometimes you don't know that at the moment. You're looking back, you connect the dots. So I sent her an email. I said, first of all, thank you so much helping me understand about saving and understand about the relationship with money. Because most people don't have a good relationship with it. They don't know anything about money.
No.
And second is I said, looking back, I've been very lucky. I was doing well in everything I did. I don't think it's a coincidence. It's a lot of the mindset you taught me, and it's a lot of understanding you taught me, and I'm very grateful. So I sent her that nice email, and I said, I just want to let you know how much I appreciate you. And I say there are people out there do not understand you. Please feel free to share with people. And then she has a lot of CEOs that she helped a lot of people become a 7-figure income earner, and a lot of them are my friends. And then so that was the time that she said, you need to come back to what we do. I said, no, I'm doing very well in real estate. I think I will stay where I'm at. But she said, you need to come back. The era is different right now. So 2016, I went to the big annual company convention, and I start to see all my friends back in 2003. Many of them just started with me together. And they become ultra successful, and not one, not two, like more than a dozen of them. And people are doing very well. They build their own business in different states, and then 7-figure earner, some of them multiple 7-figure earner, multiple 7-figure earner. And all of a sudden, I start to realize where's my true potential. And then also, I say I was doing well, but compared to who?
Right.
So, all of a sudden, so 2016 July, I made a decision. I'm going to completely drop out real estate. At that time, I was still doing well. The months before, I closed $12 million in transaction in real estate. But I dropped right next month, and I start building my financial service. And that decision really completely changed. And I'm so glad. I just have this peace of mind because I feel like I can finally do something that I feel fulfilling. Is at the beginning, it's important that you need to make money to survive, and then you need to make good money. But to a certain point, I think if money is only motivation, you don't want to grow anymore because you're so comfortable, right? So, but I'm so grateful that right now I was surrounded with all these people with a mission in mind to help people.
Right.
And just to bring a hand like they did for me.
Right.
When I came to United States. You know, if you talk about qualification, I have none. I'm not a qualified people. I don't have a good market.
Right.
I don't speak good English. I don't have business background. I don't have any financial knowledge. I'm not the qualified people that every financial service industry is looking for. But I was offered an opportunity to change my life. So that's
yeah. So tell me about your company, your practice that you have right now.
So we are part of the Dream Builder Financial. And Dream Builder Financial is part of World Financial Group Transamerica, and our parent company is called Aegon. And Aegon is one of the too big to fail. There are 9 companies in the whole world that's too big to fail. So it's public traded in the New York Stock Exchange. And coming to the United States, World Financial Group is essentially a platform.
Okay.
But every single person are independently own and run their own practice.
Like a franchise.
We don't call ourselves franchise because we're not paying any franchise fees.
Okay, so it's a brand, like a branch.
It's like a branch, exactly.
Okay.
So, yeah. And so right now we have operations in multiple states, over 10 different states, and people licensed agent in different states. And so we are still growing. We're at a very good time because of what happened right now, because of the market condition. People have so much uncertainty.
Yeah.
So right now we have over 70 licensed agent in the organization.
Wow.
And we're still growing.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the things I was reading about you, and you're very good on social media, and I follow your posts and all of that, but like you really, in your work, financial literacy is very important to you. It's like a key, I think, not your own financial literacy, but sharing that with your customers and your clients. So like that, tell me a little bit about your philosophy, why financial, is it the mentor that said save $3 a day? Like really, how do you pass that along to your clients?
When I came to the United States, I really felt like this is something I do not know.
Yeah.
Because I'm an immigrant. But
it's not that. It's cultural.
Yeah, and then very soon I realized, wow, most people do not know. How can most people do not know anything?
Yes.
And sometimes, I'm Chinese, so I came to United States. I think it's crazy. People buy things they can't afford.
Yeah.
They put on the credit card. They don't have the money, but they buy it, right? And then they think Chinese crazy. Why you buy everything in cash?
Yeah.
Because we were taught.
Right.
You need to not having a lot of debt. But, when I go in my career, I have, helped a lot of families. Not every single family immediately you see, you're helping them. And as a result, you're helping. But I remember this family, from that turning point, it makes me feel more passionate about actually reaching out to people and helping. So this family, the couple is, he is about 70 years old. When we met, he's 60 something. And then their children is still in school. And then one day I received a text message, 9 p.m. And the wife said, I lost my beloved husband forever.
Oh.
And that moment, I don't know what to say to her. I called her immediately, and the next day I go visited her. And then she was just completely in shock. I mean, it was just not, you never prepare for that day. Yeah. And she said, I don't know what to do because I don't know anything. My husband took care of everything. Yeah. I don't even know how to...
Passwords.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So I said, let's do one step at a time. Then we'll walk her through the process. And then there's something called probate.
Oh, yeah.
They have a house. They never paid it. They paid off everything. But...
it was in his name.
They are in both names, but they don't have a trust. So they have to go through a probate, and then the probate process is over a year.
Yeah.
So she have no way to touch anything, even to pay for the funeral expenses. And so I helped her, and then even just to get the death certificate and all those things. But very quickly, we were able to help her issue a check to her. And I bring it to her. That day, I remember when I go to her house, there are some friends. They visited her, and then they left, and then I came in. And then she grabbed my hand, and then she said, Nika, only you are helping us right now. But that's not true. She has a lot of friends, but I know what she meant.
Yeah.
And she's shaking, and she's crying. And what she really means that, when that kind of happened, so it coming to me, I said, I'd rather chase after you so that you can be well prepared rather than your family chase after me to get GoFundMe.com.
Yeah.
So that moment, that's just one aspect. But there are other aspects. What about retirement?
Yeah.
People don't know if they can retire with enough money.
Right.
People don't know if the Social Security is enough. And what about long-term care?
Yep.
70% of the people needing care,
Yep.
but less than 22% people actually have any sort of care. So I'm trying to help family. There's no shortage of insurance agent. There's no shortage of financial advisor.
Right.
However, the difference is, the traditional financial service industry are not built to serve the mass market.
Right.
So people do not understanding, so they buy things. The problem with buy things is I see a lot of family, they buy life insurance and then they cancel it. Or they buy life insurance, the policy lapse, that they don't understand what they buy.
Yeah.
So we do so much education.
Yeah. So that's the whole financial literacy part of
Education.
of your business.
Education.
And it's just your story is very inspiring, and it's almost like the universe laid out these steps that you have to go through before you started your own business. And for immigrants coming from other places around the world who have an American dream, like, what is the advice that you have for them, right? You've lived it. You've created this, impactful, purposeful business that you run that is satisfying to you, right? Because you're in control of it. What advice do you have?
American dream. Pursue the American dream. It's interesting how people, or a lot of people coming to United States, especially as an immigrant, we come here really for the American dream.
Yeah.
But a lot of people come here, they realize it's American nightmare.
It is. I can see that.
So, this is how I always, we have a dream, but you need a vehicle, right? Sometimes people shrink their dream to fit their income. What about you expand your income to fit your dream?
Right.
So when we have a dream, oftentimes just by working hard is not going to take us to our dream.
No.
You need to be on the right vehicle. 747 is not going to take you to the moon. So people have to make the right choices so that they are able to find a vehicle that can take them to their dream.
Right.
But sometimes the choices is your understanding, your ability to make the choices.
Right.
But how are you going to make those choices? Like, looking back, are you going to invest in Uber, right? If at that time you have the knowledge today, yeah, you're going to invest in Uber. But most people don't have that knowledge at that moment. So how are you going to make some choices? Like this person is going to... So for me, at that time, I was just lucky. I don't consider myself like, oh, I'm so smart, making the choice, find the right mentor. But sometimes you got to have to keep your option open and mind open so that you can associate yourself to the right environment and getting a right mentorship so that your understanding of everything elevate. It allows you to make choices that allows you to take you to the next level.
Right. And on that, talking about these things are very important to you. Like it comes through in what you write and how you say things. And talk to me a little bit about your approach to leadership development, right? Like that's a recurring theme. And it's also, it's a really important topic, especially for new Americans, immigrants that come over here. Like you don't just show up and the American dream happens, right? You don't just show up and suddenly you're a leader. You don't just show up and, all the money drops into your lap. So what is your approach to leadership development?
People buy things. They buy a purse. They buy nice things. I invest in education. Yeah. I invest everything above my head, like above my neck, right? So, people pay $10,000 to buy a purse. I pay $10,000 to learn from John Maxwell,
right,
the best leader. And it's where you invest versus spend your money. So for me, everything I do, I read the books, right? I listen to leaders. I surround myself with people who has been there, done that, and who is in the same field. Sometimes people listen to other people in completely different field. Yeah. They might be ultra successful, but they're not in the same field. So who do you listen to matters. So for me, I think reading and then investing yourself in the right place is very important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story. It's very, very inspiring, and it's also very useful pieces of information. So we're very lucky to have you on the couch in Santa Monica today, Nika. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.